Greetings and salutations, and thank you for clicking on this video. Today we're going to take a look at Linux Lite 3.0, brand new, just released on June the 1st. Linux Lite is a distribution of Linux that I support through Easy Linux, and I have a couple of clients that use it. My brother uses this particular distribution on his ancient Dell machine that has 512 megabytes of RAM in it and a 32-bit Celeron processor. And it works. He's been using it for quite some time. So this is one that I have been waiting to look at, and we're going to do that today. Now, here's the deal. I have not booted this up. I installed it, and then I walked away from it, and now that I've started doing this video, I'm going to boot it up for the very first time. The installation process was very easy. It installed very quickly. If you've installed Ubuntu or Linux Mint, it's very familiar and worked perfectly. So we're going to see what the desktop looks like. Also, I'm curious to see whether the Linux Lite folks have included the VirtualBox Guest Edition drivers out of the box here. They did on the live ISO image, but it's always nice when a distribution takes the time to put those drivers in and they automatically load up. Somebody sent me an email not too long ago and said that I ought to look at Deepin. Ooh, I like that. There is your desktop or your desktop manager screen, your login. That looks nicer than the one they had before, that's for sure. Anyway, I was talking about Deepin, and when I tried to test that out in a virtual machine, I did take a look at it. They had a box that came up in the installer that says, we've detected that you're running this in a virtual machine and it won't run well, and we encourage you to put it on regular hardware. Excuse me. And I thought, you really need to make sure stuff works in a virtual machine if you are going to come up with a distribution of Linux, because this is where we test. And I see that those drivers are working and they installed themselves. That's nice. Nice touch there, gang. Okay, this is the new desktop. You got the welcome screen here. We're going to get into that in just a second. New look here. This distribution is now too big to fit on a CD. Past versions of Linux Lite you could actually burn to a compact disc, and that was nice for really older machines that didn't have DVD drives in it, but I guess they've just gotten to a place where they couldn't keep that up anymore. So now it's just under a gigabyte. It's like 995 megabytes. So you need to use a USB stick or a DVD. And what I want to do before we do anything is I want to get in here and make these fonts a little bigger. I want to make it easier for both you and me to see. So we'll go to fonts. Kind of like the flat look here, the theme that they've got going on the Xfce desktop. So let's just make these bigger, shall we? Let's go for 115. That'll make it nice and big for everybody. There we go. Okay, so the first thing that it asked us to do is install updates, which is a very good place to start. So let's take a look at this. Oh, we've got a driver install. Let's see what this does. This was a little bit of a bone of contention in like version 2. They had this update thing that could sometimes get hung up. So I want to see what they've changed. And it's going to go out and check for updates. That's cool. Shouldn't be too many updates. They just released the ISO about 2 days ago. Now the thing about Linux Lite is, number one, it works really well. Number two, it works really well on low-end hardware. They pretty much went through this distribution and figured out every place that they could reduce processor flops in it. Okay? Oh, we do have some updates. We got quite a few updates. Oh well, let's go ahead and do it. And anyway, reducing the processor flops there makes it run really nice on old hardware. The flip side of that is if you do have a computer that has some juice and you would like the system, you just like to have very low overhead on your operating system and your desktop, this is a good choice because now all of that processing power and all of that RAM that you paid for to have in your machine is going to be devoted to applications. So if you don't need eye candy on your desktop and you're not worried about that, that is a really good option to go with here. Now let's see here. Updating the user manager. That is actually something that I want to take a close look at, and the reason why is because there were some issues with that in earlier versions in the 2 series. Now what's cool about Linux Lite 2 is that they're very much like Linux Mint in that they decided that they would base their distribution off of Ubuntu LTS releases. So for instance, the 2 series was based on Ubuntu 14.04, and as updates came along, they would release a dot release. So you went from like 2.1 to 2.2 or whatever the deal is down the road. And those were very easy to install. There's an upgrade button here, and then you do that, and you could upgrade the system. Going from version 2 to version 3, I think you're going to have to reload. I got no word on that, but it's no big deal because if you have been running version 2 since, probably want to go ahead and reload anyway. This seems to be going quite well with the updates. Does not give you an option to see a terminal to see what it's doing if you use the graphic updater in Linux Lite though. So while that's doing that, we can go back to I want to go back here to this I'm not going to close that welcome screen because I want to follow the bouncing ball on that. We can take a look at what's in here. So you don't get anything under favorites at first, but the help manual and install favorites. We don't have any recently used. There's all the software listed. We have a My Computer entry. I guess that's for people who are coming from Windows. So this will allow you to get to all the places on your machine. Not a bad idea to add that to the whisker menu. We got settings, accessories, we got backup, archive manager, application finder, screenshot, terminal, text editor, file search, calculator. Under graphics, we get the GIMP, we get an image viewer, we get a scanner. That's so you can scan your documents. Under Internet, we get Firefox, which is actually labeled Firefox. I like that because they had just, the Xfce desktop will just label things like web browser. And this one actually says Firefox, so that's nice. Network connections, support, get support online for Linux Lite, and Thunderbird Mail. It's a nice basic selection. For media, we get VLC already installed. That's cool. We get the volume control, and we get a CD DVD burner. What you want to bet that's Bracero? Hope it is. Which one? What do we got here? Go to help, about. Now this is XF Burn, so this is the Xfce Dvd Cd Creator. Nice touch to have that in there. I've never used that application. I always use Bracero. And yes, I do still work with optical media quite a bit, so that's something that I have to have hanging around. No, I don't want to look at the log. Good, we're all up to date. That's cool. So down here, we can scroll down and look at drivers. Let's see if we have any drivers. They should be installed. Searching for proprietary drivers. Oh wow, it found and installed everything at boot up. Look, it's all here, even the processor Unicode. Wow, good going, gang. That's nice to see that configure itself out of the box. Okay, we're going to get back to that in just a minute here. Let's see, go home. All right, we were looking at software, right? We looked at multimedia. This looks to be part of LibreOffice, but it's not like the whole Office suite. So basically, it looks like we've got the Writer, yeah, LibreOffice 5. So we've got Impress, and we've got Writer, and then we've got Base. This is the basics. I guess if you want Draw and whatever else, you could put that in. Or maybe it's just not on the list. I don't know. It might be here. Okay, under System, what do we got? Here's a feature we really have to take a look at because it's very cool. So we go in here and open up Lite Software. It's going to update the cache. It asks me what I want to do. I would like to install software, thank you. Now what this does is it generates a list of software that is very much in demand on Linux. And this is by no means a complete list of software, but it's kind of like you can just go through here and check off things that you want. And some of these are third-party applications that don't come from the repository. So therefore, you can just do a one-click install and you can put it on the machine. Now what I want to see here, because I had said this before in past videos, so let's look under Soft. Look under Software and Updates. That's exactly what I want to look at. What I want to look at here is other software. So you see we have canonical partners, and then we have all of these little PPAs that are hooked up. But they have changed it up a little bit, which is good because I don't see the Google Chrome repositories already hooked up. What they used to do is they would ship the distribution with all of the repositories hooked up, and then when you would click here, it would already go to it. So they've changed it now that if I want to install Google Chrome, then what it's going to do is it's going to hook up those repositories. So that's what I want to see what happens here. Let's see, we've got Audacity. Google Chrome, not on the list. They've replaced it with Chromium. Chromium web browser is the free and open source version of Google Chrome. That is in the repos. However, there are some things that if you want it to work, you're going to have to go and get real Google Chrome. There's some things, the codecs there that don't work and things like that. Now, exactly what the difference is, I don't know because I don't run Chromium. I just run Google Chrome. It used to be on the list. It's not here now. So they've changed that. Skype is here. VirtualBox is here. We've got Steam. No Spotify, no Google Chrome. So I guess if you're going to install that on Linux Lite 3.0, you're going to have to go out and hook up the repositories yourself or download the deb files or whatever the deal is. So not quite as cool as it used to be if they've taken those applications off of their gang, to tell you the truth. I guess maybe they got burnt by Google Chrome. Google Chrome caused a major problem with Linux Lite when they dropped 32-bit support. And what happened was because they had that repository already hooked up, all of a sudden the updater wouldn't work. It would throw an error and it would just quit. So I guess maybe they decided that they'd just drop it. But still a cool application. But these appear to be things that are just all in the repos. So still a nice application, but it'd be nice if it pulled in third-party applications. The Ubuntu Mate welcome screen does that. So let's see what else we've got to look at here. basic shortcuts down there. Alright, there should be there's another piece of software in here I want to look at called Light Tweaks. Here's Light Tweaks. You can go through here and do different things like set your default web browser. Sometimes that can be a problem in Xfce. You got two web browsers running and the desktop can get confused every now and again, so I guess they have a way to force that here. Display disk usage. Change your host name. You can remove old kernels. Change things about the whisker menu. Auto remove packages. So some nice things to have. So we've looked at Light software, we've looked at Light tweaks. Looks like they have dropped that Control Center application. It used to be down here. They had a shortcut to it, and that was kind of cool. It kind of got all the settings in one place, but I don't see that now. So they've kind of trimmed back some things here, I think. Here's a new thing they've done. This is the hardware database. The online help manual. I think this is where you can submit your hardware profile anonymously. They have that going on in there. They have done a lot with this welcome screen, gang. This is really slick. And I think they've really taken a page out of Ubuntu 16.04's book, which is fine because I like to see that technology getting implemented. Hardware recommendations. Have the minimum requirements and things rolled into there. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So let's look through the settings menu because it looks like they have rolled some of that in there. They used to, like I said, they had a little separate application. So we'll deep dive in here and take a look and see what they've done because this kind of looks like the standard Xfce settings. You have a setting, yeah, it's the settings editor. Okay, there's a couple of things I really want to look at here. They've updated the Power Manager, probably because they're using a later version of the Xfce desktop. This was a problem before. Yeah, that looks a lot different. And then, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not in here. We got the light. They're using the Lite DM desktop manager, so you have settings for that. Usually can't do much with this application, but it allows you to kind of goof with things a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Back to the settings. User Manager. This is one that I actually had some conversations with the developers about. So let's try and create a new user and see how easy that is. So what do I want to do here? select user, click on new user, and we're just going to create a bogus user, and we're going to name him Bob. Alright. And we're going to give Bob a super safe password, Bob123. Okay, now I got to give it my password. Okay, we've now created Bob. And it made Bob as an admin, did it? I don't know whether I'm comfortable with Bob being in this. I don't know. Kind of doesn't make a specification whether Bob is a standard user. Let me look and see if I missed that the first time around. Nope. We just created a user named Bob. That's all we did. So yeah, this is a little too simplistic. All right, that was my complaint about it before, was there are certain options here that I realize that Linux Lite is a newbie distro, but creating users is something that's important, and there needs to be a little bit more interaction here. There needs to be a little bit more, okay, this is what you're doing, and whether this new user is going to have administrator privileges. It's not clearly stated here. So anyway, I've created Bob. I want to go over here and look at another application called About Me. Which allows you to add information to the account here. Let's see. Alright, so you can add this crap in here. This is called finger information. We can add a picture. It tells us to browse for the picture. Let's see if we have anything that we can choose. No, it just dumps us out in our own. Yeah, and there's no files in here whatsoever, so this doesn't matter. Good Lord, is that Thunar? Boy, that looks nice, doesn't it, gang? I'll have to take a look at that real quick here. I like that. That's kind of nice looking. Now the problem I had with this before is that if we let's try this real quick, and we'll see what it does. I'm going to log out as me. All right. And now we're going to log in as Bob. Xfce desktop when it gets itself together. Well, that's interesting. When I logged in, did the drivers quit working? Okay, now, okay. It's resizing the desktop now. Okay, so now we're in Bob's account, and I want to see if we can add information to that, because before I couldn't. So look for About. Okay, so we're going to call him Bob. That's taking the input. Yeah. Even though we are just acting like we're Bob, his initial is whatever. So we were able to add that. We could add a picture if we wanted to. Nice. Yay, gang. They did work on it. Okay, awesome. 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 That now works. That didn't work before. I am really I'm kind of disappointed that some of the the cool one-click features are gone. I'm not seeing them. But on the flip side of that, I'm kind of happy because they caused issues. So it looks like what they've done is they've really sat down and thought this out and said, okay, is it really worth having this button to install Google Chrome? You know what I mean? There's a risk factor involved there. And I like this distro. This is really, really making me smile here, gang. Alright, a couple other things we want to look at. Alright, let's see if this ever catches up and full sizes the screen when it gets loaded up. And see whether I have to do that. Switching accounts in a virtual machine causes little glitches like this. No big deal. Alright, let's go ahead and full size that sucker again. There we go. Okay, so that fixed that. Okay, I think we've looked at everything on the welcome screen we wanted to. I want to look at Thunar. I want to look at the file manager here because they have really themed this thing up. Ooh, that's even better than the file manager. This is the new documentation. I am so what I just did there, explain to you guys so you don't think I'm an idiot. I am so used to having an icon up here for home that I didn't even look at it. I just clicked on it, and because I always have my home folder appearing on the desktop, and so I didn't even click on it. And so now we've got is this lovely documentation page. This is beautiful. They have put a tremendous amount of work into this. So let's go to start here. Oh yeah, it's like a whole online guide. Actually, no, this is not online. So even if you didn't have an internet connection, look at this. This is it's just a link to a file. So this is local on the machine. Awesome. They've even thought about that, because the problem with online help is, what if I'm not online? What if the reason I'm here is because something's wrong with the network? You know, I'm trying to figure this out. This is great. Let's see here. Printers, user manager, probably learn how to do what I needed to do here. They talk about how the groups work. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed. That's nice. All right, so let's open my computer, which should give us Thunar. Open the home folder. So they have themed this up nicely. Look at this. Cool. I'm really impressed with this. This is nice looking, gang. Alright, a couple more things to look at here and then we'll wrap up this video. I realize that this video runs long, but you know, that's the way this works. We just look around in a distro and see what we got going on. So we'll find a background here. A couple other things. Let's see, what else did I want to look at? I want to look at that. Here's where you can set your icons. If you're familiar with the Xfce desktop, this is going to be easy for you to figure out. So, like I said, I like a home folder on my desktop, so I stuck it up there. Go back to all settings. So they have not like rocked the boat here and totally changed everything. This is just a continuation, but it's a nice solid update so far. So here's where you can set some default applications and your utilities. Oh, we haven't looked at the terminal yet, have we? Let's take a look. Cool. All right. Let's see. Let's make that a little bigger. Hello. That doesn't seem to work. Nope. So that shortcut, that keyboard shortcut doesn't work to make this bigger. I guess it doesn't work. This is the Xfce Terminal. Yeah. Oh no, LX Terminal. Wait a minute. I thought we were on Xfce here, gang. This is the Xfce desktop. But they have the LXDE terminal in here? Okay. Yeah, that's what this is. Okay, that's a little strange. Alright, never mind. Name R. So we're on 4.4.022 generic. That's pretty much the latest Ubuntu kernel there. What else can we look at? I'll tell you what I am going to do. Let's see. Sudo apt install htop. Do it again. Type it correctly. Already on the machine. Okay, so we can see what we're doing here. Looks like we're using a lot of memory. No, we're using 1.44 megabytes of swap. But you know that print, I can't even see what memory that is. I'm going to be real honest with you. That I couldn't even make that out. So let's do it this way. Don't like this background color on this terminal. So we've used a total of 333 megabytes of memory. Okay, yeah, all right, you get the idea. That one I'd have to theme up. Of course, I'd probably put Terminator on it if I was going to use this full time. Well, I'm tickled pink. I mean, I don't know what else to look at. This is just a really good basic implementation of the Xfce desktop wrapped around some solid software. Looks like they have tightened some things up. And they have really made this a cool experience. I'm looking for I want to see something here before I close this. I got firewall configuration in there. Let's see what that is. Yeah. Just want to look at one thing real quick. Yep, okay, that's what I wanted to see. That settings tool is definitely gone in version 3. Because it's kind of, some of the stuff is here in the main settings and then some of it is out in the menu. Like you see, you don't have About Me here. And let's look at software again. So to install software, it's basically Synaptic. Yeah, so we got Synaptic Package Manager to install and remove. You could always put something like the Ubuntu Software Center on here, and that would work. That's a nice trick. I don't know what... You know what I'm going to do before I close this video? I know this is running long, but I got curious, and we're going to try this and see if it works. We're going to try it and see if it works. Wow. How did I mistype Ubuntu so bad? Thank you. I swear I can type when I'm not recording. Okay, so let's install this and see if it works. See, like, gang, look at this color down here, this color contrast with the background of this terminal. I can't even see that there's text there. You know? Colorblind. Can't even see that there's text there. Hey, my background changed automatically. Huh. Okay, that's nice. So anyway, while this is doing this, just before we do our experiment, this is cool. This is a really solid implementation. It looks like they've done a lot of the thoughtful pruning of some of the things that they had going in the release before. Maybe some things that were troublesome, they may be reintroduced later. Pared it down a little bit, and it seems to be a very solid, stable sort of thing going on. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'm going to let this install, and then we're going to see if the Ubuntu Mate welcome screen will work, and then we'll close out the video. It took a couple of minutes. I figured I'd shave a little time off of this already long-running video. Okay, so the first thing we want to see is whether it appeared in the menu. What I'm really worried about here. Okay, we got the Software Boutique. Now, to launch the welcome screen proper, you probably have to do it from a terminal. That doesn't show up in the menu by default. So we have the Ubuntu Mate 1604 Software Boutique application. Now, we should be able to do a one-click install for all of this stuff. So let's try and install something. Go to Internet. And we don't have a Flash player installed if you want that. We've got Chromium. Here's a Google Chrome install. Let's do it. It's going to work. All right, what else can we install? Let's see if Ice-T is not installed. So if we want the Ice-T plugin for Firefox, here that is. Cool. So that does seem to work. Okay, so if I put in Ubuntu, I get the Software Boutique. There's no... And if I put in welcome, I got Linux Lite's welcome screen. So that's a nice little trick, gang. If you want to get these this stuff installed with one click, you can just put the Ubuntu Mate welcome screen on the system, and then you can use the Software Boutique, which will show up in the menu. And what's really nice about the Software Boutique is it'll keep up with this stuff. So when you can check in on that every now and again, and when new versions come along, doesn't matter what repositories it comes from, you can actually get it. So if we go to sound and video here and I scroll down to the bottom, you see that we can install, we got Spotify here, we got Simple Screen Recorder. These are not available in the regular Ubuntu repositories. So now you can have them on the machine. Nice trick, huh? Alright, gang, thank you for watching this video. I know it ran long, and I know I kind of wandered around a little bit, but I really wanted you guys to see what I saw, and as I have said already about 3 or 4 times, I'm impressed. This is a solid distro. This will run on just about any hardware, and I haven't installed this anywhere on a machine and probably won't for a while, but when I do, I'll give you an update and let you know how that goes. So Linux Lite 3.0, bravo! They did an outstanding job. Very nice indeed. So thank you for watching. We will talk again soon. Be sure and check out Easy Linux on the web. Check out Easy Linux on Facebook, and if you would, give it a like. And also check out freedompenguin.com for lots of cool articles about Linux.